The following podcast contains strong language, graphic violence, nudity, and a shameless paint-by-numbers copy of an earlier version of the franchise. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ah, wow, what a hole.
You trout sniffer.
Four guys and a movie. Four guys and a movie. Tony, Brian, Rob, and Joe reviewing movies for the show. Four guys and a movie.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Four Guys in a Movie, the podcast about movies, snacks, and all things nerdy. My name is Ho Malone, and I'm joined by my sticky bandits.
Tony, I got nothing.
You don't like my rap name?
I'm Bricks from the Roof.
I'll be the nightmare stilt walking Santa Claus.
All right.
I'm Mo with the gimpy leg.
Little Mo!
I was so caught off guard.
You filthy animals.
Here we are again on our own.
Going down the only road we've ever
Home
known.
Alone. This is our third Home Alone film, I do believe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right, Home Alone. Sorry.
Yeah, and we did Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
By Joe's intro, I thought we did Ghostbusters 2 again.
Oh, no. We didn't do Ghostbusters 2 or whatever other thing, number 2. What did we do? We did Home Alone 2. Come on.
Lost in New York.
It was
Lost
a
in
movie.
New York from 1992. You guys seen this movie before?
I think I saw it in the theater,
Yeah.
and then I have not seen it since.
I know I've seen it, but I didn't remember anything about it other than that was basically a
Other
copy
than the
of the
first
first
movie.
one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think same for me. I've seen I occasionally will have it on the rotation for like Christmas time while I'm making cookies and what have you. But I like honestly I didn't, other than a couple of key characters in this film, I didn't remember a whole lot because I never like pay attention to it. So this was a little eye opening.
Yeah, I don't think I even knew this movie existed.
Okay.
I barely remember the first one. I don't think I ever watched any of the sequels.
Wow. I know we definitely saw it in the theater, and unfortunately, I could not find it in time to bring it, but I own the Talk Boy. I believe I also owned one of those
Inflatable clowns.
No, the monster slime things.
Did they make the? I didn't think
They
those
did.
were real.
They weren't that and the Talk Boy weren't real
Was it just
prior
like
to this
foam
movie.
soap, or-
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it was the actual one. I think might have been silly string.
Oh,
but-
okay.
But yeah, they weren't real prior to the movie. But then because of the movie, they made them a thing.
He bought that before he knew the Sticky Bandits were there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't ask Joe.
It just occurred to me, he was going to hurt someone with that.
No, he's a young boy who had a big hotel to himself, and he wanted some lube. Let's not question
He
it
just wanted
any
monster
further
slime.
than that. Yeah.
He
wanted monster slime.
was going to make at least a
he
Rob
got
Schneider
monster
fall down the
slime.
stairs.
To be
Yeah.
fair, I know
Or
somebody
Buzz.
who was very excited when I gave them Flarp. Flarp is similar to Monster Slime, except it's intended to be used to make fart noises with your thumb. And she was very happy that I gave that to her.
There was a thing in the 90s. We had
Thanks for
Flarp, we had
contributing.
Gak.
Yeah.
So it was a thing.
All right. So tell us about Home Alone 2, Even a Loner.
Once again, directed by Chris Columbus, who did the first movie. He also did...
Wait, it was directed by Christopher Columbus?
Yes.
Yes.
No wonder it was lost.
It'd be funny if that wasn't like his, company logo. But he also did Mrs. Doubtfire, the first Harry Potter, I Love You, Beth Cooper, and Pixels.
I forgot he did Pixels.
He did Pixels.
The hell's Pixels?
Be glad you don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Waste
Maybe
of
we'll roll
everyone's
it
time.
today.
Oh God, I hope not. So I guess we should just dive into the history of this movie. This was the biggest salary for an 11-year-old in a movie. They also spent a ton of money to bring in snow to Central Park, only to have a huge blizzard shortly thereafter, which also caused tons of other problems with filming, with people freezing, cameras freezing, all kinds of nonsense. Apparently, Daniel Stern got. I shouldn't have said that, but during the pigeon thing.
What?
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Can't say Daniel
Yeah,
Stern.
I try not to, waste a. Don't worry. Anyway, but during the pigeon attack scene, he got a pigeon in the mouth, and he was very unhappy about it.
Okay.
And Joe Pesci treated Macaulay Culkin like crap on purpose.
Good.
Yeah.
Like in real life?
Yeah. Yeah, he basically, I guess, like, there was something where, like,
He wanted to inspire true fear in Macaulay Culkin.
no, it was like Macaulay Culkin was just like, "Why don't you ever smile?" And he was just kind of, I forgot what
Joe
the quote
Pesci?
was, but he just basically like a "fuck you, kid." And later, when asked about it, he was like, "Everybody treats him like he's the fucking king, and I'm not gonna do that shit." So.
Yeah.
I'm the king.
I'm the only 4-foot tall guy allowed to be the king.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, at this point, you said he was 11. Yeah, he's like creeping into teenage years. Like,
Emphasis on
it's
creeping.
no longer like charming and cute. It's starting to get a little fucking sinister. It's like,
Well, I mean, it's not that he was doing anything wrong. It's just everyone else was like,
just
you're the greatest, and he was just like, I'm not gonna fucking with that.
they were probably having a little bit of a harder time selling Macaulay Culkin. He's a little less cute now. He's starting to actually get stubble on his face.
Yeah, he is so flagrantly reading cue cards
Yes.
that it looks like he's just hollow and devoid of all emotion during his
I mean,
performance.
he is
Like a
in
true
general.
sociopath.
Yeah, I'm like a true Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, also, his father only agreed to have him do this if he got to be in The Good Son. So you could thank
In the what?
Cool.
them for that.
The good son.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks, Dad.
The Toy Story, by the way, or Toy Store, was filmed in Chicago.
Yes.
Did you have that on your list?
I didn't, because I didn't think it was relevant.
Ah.
But here we are. So do you want to guess what the budget of this movie had?
You want to weigh in?
So
I
this
probably
is
don't think any of this is relevant.
92, and, this was a sequel with, they already had a proven commodity, so this got greenlit for a lot of money. So I think it's got to be at least 50.
I'm gonna get crazy. I'm gonna say $100 million.
I could see it.
That's where I'm at.
80 million.
75. This is the budget.
Yeah.
Price is right. Come on down.
It was $28 million.
Wow.
Oh, wow. We
okay,
all
all
overshot.
right.
Okay.
Want to guess how much it made?
300 million.
250 million, to be clear.
I'm going to shoot for the moon and go for 4.
Hundo. No, $1. $1. Might as well. It made a buck.
But Rob takes it was $359.
Okay.
Fucking, it was
Yeah.
fucking huge.
That's a 14-to-1 return on your investment right there. That's
I
pretty
think
good.
that's definitely because of the first one, because I remember the first
Oh,
one.
wow.
Well, yeah.
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 I mean, yeah.
I mean, they rushed this shit out a year after the first one,
Yeah,
right?
how fast
just-
can
No, 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
Which makes it all the weirder that they keep saying last year in the
Yep.
movie.
So canonically, it's just like, oh, we left Kevin home this year. Okay, what are we gonna do next year? I guess we'll go out of town again. Whatever. Quiet Christmas at home.
I mean,
New
we've
family
already left
tradition.
them. We can't do it twice.
Yeah, new family tradition. We're gonna leave Kevin somewhere. That's
Yeah.
just what we do.
and eventually, it does turn into that. What was it? The critic episode.
Yeah.
Where he's just like a fully grown
Yeah.
adult.
I left Kevin home alone, and he's only 35.
Oh no.
Let me get this cast out of the way. You got Macaulay Culkin as Kevin. You got Joe Pesci as Harry.
Who's gonna cook my eggs?
Daniel Stern as Marv. Catherine O'Hara as Kate. John Hurd as Peter. Devin Rattray as Buzz.
Jesus, we cannot go through the whole cast.
No, I think that's it. I wanted to get the Buzz.
Look at me.
Nobody wanted to
Macaulay,
get
Harry,
What?
Marv, Bird Monster.
Oh, and I think was this the debut of Kieran and Culkin? No, because he was in
No,
the first
yeah,
movie
first
as the
Yeah,
bedwetter.
this is
Okay,
the First one.
as Fuller the bedwetter.
Yep.
And special shout out to Tim Curry as concierge.
Concierge Tim Curry.
Tim Curry ranked under Buzz.
On IMDb, he did.
Well, yeah. Anyway,
So yeah, basically, John Hughes went into his computer and he found his script for Home Alone. He used find and replace. Every instance of home, he put New York, and
that's the other.
and every instance of old man with bird.
And every instance of wet with sticky.
Yeah, well, yeah, there was a lot to the some of the history I was reading on this, including apparently a very similar, well, a somewhat similar script to this was pitched for the sequel, where he was lost in Disney World and had to fight criminals for whatever.
Mickey Mouse,
Well, no, but
Donald Duck.
that pitch was sent to the studio, but rejected because they can't do that.
Yeah.
But it was sent to them by a young Greg Estero from The Room.
Nah, come on.
That's what it says.
So that means that script might be online somewhere.
Yeah, maybe.
Might have to do a tape.
Wait,
But
did Greg
also-
Sestero, like, he wrote it, or he was, like, the courier that gave it to
He
them?
probably
He,
wrote it.
no,
like,
he
that's-
wrote it. He was
Okay.
like a 12-year-old and was like,
Oh,
now I want to get into acting.
Gotcha.
And I want to be his friend. So he wrote a script where him
Yep.
and Macaulay Culkin would run around
Gotcha.
Disney World.
They just sent him a letter back that said, "Ha ha ha! Great story, Mark."
But
been
also,
a better movie,
I
though,
guess Christopher Columbus kind of treated this like his Evil Dead, and he thinks this is the better version. Yeah.
That's a take.
Christopher
All right.
Columbus made Pixels.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sorry, I
That's
should-
really all you
Chris
need.
Columbus, I should say, to make sure.
If anybody doesn't understand who we're talking about,
That it's not Christopher Columbus.
why don't you log into Minecraft right now?
He does.
Why don't you sign up for Canadian healthcare right now? All right.
I'm confused even more now.
Anyway,
So's Rob.
so Home Alone. Hey, it's a wild house. There's lots of kids.
Whimsical music.
It's
Snowfall on
Yes.
the Home Alone logo, sandwiched between the skylines of New York.
That's not a joke. That's
No, I mean,
really
like,
there.
is that actually what it said in the script? Like, it's very.
I mean, maybe
picturesque.
yes.
Pretty much, yeah. It's the same house as last time, the same crazy family as last time. They're
same
running around
old
just
money
like
as
last
last
time.
I feel like they're all
This
the
is
same
all
actors
exactly what was written in the script. Yes.
This time, Kevin
And
is
yes, they're the same actors.
dicking around
Mostly
with a
at
tape
least.
recorder, the Talk Boy, which is a surprisingly useful plot device for later. While his mom is like, "Hey, Kevin, check it out. My dress matches the wallpaper in this room."
too. It's the 80s/90s. Everything matches. I ran out of.
Yeah.
Ran out of
Ran out of everything.
sound.
We all look up to be like, are
I
you
saw
okay?
you almost straighten something
Yeah.
there.
So his dad comes in and he's like, "Yeah, your Uncle Frank's in the shower guarding your tie. You got to go in there and fucking perv on him."
He said he's got it on his dick.
Kevin's like, "I'm not going in. Why? First off, why's your tie in the bathroom? Second off, like, what's up? Like, don't send him in there with Uncle Frank. You know Uncle Frank. Like, everyone in this movie pretends that Uncle Frank is not a problem. He is a severe problem.
Why is Uncle Frank in my bathroom?
Yeah.
And
You go use the other bathroom with Uncle Jared.
he told young Kevin not to come into the bathroom because if he accidentally were to see him naked, he would never feel like a man his entire adult life.
Whatever that means.
I'll tell you what that means. That means he's got that Mountain Dew bottle hanging between his legs.
No, that means Frank has more self-esteem than actual inches.
You don't know that.
Oh, no. I know that.
You know who does know it, Kevin?
Yeah, Kevin.
Kevin knows it. 'Cause he
He's
goes,
like, "Get out of here, you
And I'm going to
pervert."
guess Buzz.
How did you move the shower curtain? Your arms are up here.
All right, so we have to go to a Christmas pageant where they all have to sing in a choir. It's time for Kevin to do his solo, and I do not get this scene.
Is this like a school pageant? Is it a church pageant?
It's a Christmas pageant.
Right. So, okay, all right.
I think you are putting more thought into it than they
Well, I'm
did.
just trying to figure out like why 19-year-old Buzz is there. Just like,
Yeah, I mean, that's a good theory for it being a church pageant. instead
yeah,
of a
that would be
school
the only
pageant.
thing that really makes sense.
The King of Christmas deemed it to be so.
Okay, the King of Christmas.
I haven't seen a whole lot of choirs perform, but the one that I was in high school, if you were doing a solo, you weren't on the risers. You were out front with your own microphone. So I don't understand the setup.
I also like if our theory about this being a church thing is true, that means whatever happened in the church, they had a serious downgrade since the first movie, where they were in that nice big cathedral.
Well, yeah, this was when the whole spotlight situation.
Yeah.
They're born again,
just-
Tony. They found a new.
Oh, is that what it
They're
is?
born again.
All right. So this scene is fucked up, though. Because, all right, Kevin, his performance, not great.
No.
I'll give him that. You know what a crowd, generally shouldn't do to the kid performing? Just laugh his ass off the stage. They all burst out laughing. Then
Depends on the kid.
Especially when it's
Entire
not that
crowd of
funny.
adults. Yeah.
Then all of the kids in the choir, who must have by now heard Kevin sing, unless they just threw this shit together tonight. Why are they finding it so funny too? Like,
You realize they're not just laughing at him for his singing.
well, they're laughing because Buzz is doing some other shit
They
too. But
weren't
like,
laughing at him singing at all. I don't think
well,
that's what they were trying to set up.
Yeah,
at all.
I don't think so either, but
It's because Buzz was holding these little candles behind his ears, but like the
Playing
you couldn't
drums on his head.
Yeah, he's just dicking around with them. Like you could barely even see that from the audience.
well,
But
regardless, like most of the audience is adults that should not be laughing at this
Yeah.
poor little kid.
but then the candles were behind his ears, and he sang something about being all aglow, and so they started a uproarious laughter.
all right, so
like
he
you
turns
do.
around and shoves Buzz
I'd laugh at him.
like he did.
I mean, well, we would do that just because we're mean spirited.
But
I know you would, but I said adults wouldn't.
we're not, gentlemen. We're not allowed to go to the Christmas pageant though because of
true.
these reasons.
That is true.
I'm not allowed in a church.
That and I light on fire.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
And Brick has another thing. we don't talk about
there.
anymore.
Oh, yeah. Again, the spotlight situation.
But at this point, we wouldn't even be watching the show. We'd be destroying the snack table that they set up before everybody
Yeah.
else. Anyway,
Get the fruit punch before it goes flat.
well,
Hit that
John
like it owes
poops
me
in it
money.
Or John poops in it.
after he's drank his fill. So,
It would be urine.
Yeah, I'm done drinking from it. Now it's a toilet.
yep.
You poop urine?
I said
Just
it would be
joke.
urine.
Depends on,
John-
depending on what
So,
he eats.
all right. So Kevin turns around
Get enough of that Mountain Dew.
to
Yeah.
push Buzz, just like he did in the last movie.
Oh,
And every fucking thing that can fall down falls down. Like if it's standing up, it falls down.
Yeah.
Church.
The church.
including the
conductor.
clear stunt man in a wig that they had playing this piano.
Like the woman playing the piano gets murdered by a wooden fucking Christmas tree.
Whole building collapses.
Yeah.
All that's left standing is a little baby Jesus, and he just like looks at the camera and gives like a shrug. It's a living.
Now clearly
He's my chosen kid.
Kevin did not mean to just frag the entire Christmas pageant by
that was
turning
a
around
bonus.
and pushing Buzz. So like their parents are like, Kevin, how could you? And they're back at the house, and Buzz is like, "I'm so sorry for my immature."
It's a YouTube
actions."
apology, is what it is.
Yeah.
Buzz knows how to work a room.
Sorry, everybody saw my
Well, it's
Sailor
not hard
Moon
to work a
costume with
room
my
when
penis hanging
The
out of
room
the
is like
skirt.
lobotomized.
Filled with idiots.
I'm sorry everyone heard me making all those ethnic slurs, but
Sorry, we have shitty pizza.
And now it's Kevin's turn to apologize. And Kevin, rightly so, points out that this whole fucking court's out of order. It's a kangaroo court.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't apologizing for shit. You were all laughing at me. Like, fuck this place. And that's
I'm
essentially
going
what he
home.
says. Like, I'm going. They're like, well, go up in the attic. You're spending all night up there. He's like, good. I don't care. I don't want to be near all of you. You suck.
Quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of this family of fucking retards.
Yeah.
Also, I think they missed a clear thing for this movie, which is Kevin's get out of jail free card of, what, you put me in the attic so you could leave my ass again?
Yeah.
Like, you could ride that shit for quite a while.
Well, and the mom's like, oh, you go ahead.
Well, the Fuller thing I get. Like, I get that, but, like, how is going up to the third floor of punishment? It seems like the nicest place
Oh, hell yeah.
you could ever want to be.
A childhood friend of
Especially
mine is,
in the winter, it'd be nice and warm.
Yeah, it's warm. There's like a
Summertime,
bed
it could be a problem. It's like a
friend of
hot
mine
box.
down the road, they had an attic that was finished, and his sister lived up there, and I was like, I want to live in the attic. The attic is so freaking awesome.
Well, I think we're also missing because these are the Richie Rich folk
Oh,
here.
absolutely.
So every room looks nice. So it's probably like, it's a really great room, but it doesn't have your TV and your video games or some shit. So
Their attic has a giant round window on it.
So
A guy dressed like the Crow standing, calling out for
Joe,
never mind.
what?
Kevin
Again,
wishes
it's
he
a real
could go on his
spotlight
own
situation.
vacation. And we learn also by an errant newspaper that just blows up on their door that the wet bandits have escaped.
Yeah.
And
Turns out no one cared.
yeah. So the vans show up. Oh, the dad has mistakenly unplugged apparently the one alarm clock in this whole house.
Yeah, fuck you.
Well, I think the kids obviously aren't going to pay attention to what time they're supposed to get up, and they've made it obvious that Frank and his wife are,
Worthless.
meat paste on legs. So they're not gonna. They probably didn't set an alarm. They're like, oh, leave it to.
You've got, like, what, 12 bedrooms in this house and one fucking clock in the whole damn thing?
You've
well,
got
no, the
multiple
point is
clocks,
that
but they're not gonna set.
Nobody
an alarm.
else set one because they're all terrible,
And Frank
horrible,
even
useless
made
people.
something about how what a lousy
Like-
wake up service they had.
A house like that, I'd be very surprised they don't have
They have clocks.
clocks, but staff. Like I've been at a
not
house
that
that
big.
was
Yeah,
smaller
there's-
than that, and it was
Well,
owned by rich people. And
they're
they
rich,
had-
but they want to pretend like
Right.
they're not. So
Like they might have like a housekeeper that comes like once a week to
Mm.
clean or whatever, but I don't think there's not.
Yeah, that house is not
That
worthy
shit's not
of
happening during
a
Christmas.
butler.
anyway.
Either way.
They ain't paying Mr. Belvedere's
That's right. Sit on his balls all
salary.
So, so I take back everything I say about this movie being a exact carbon copy of the first one because
it's worse.
remember in the first one when the airport shuttle shows up, the first van knocks the statue off the
That's true.
pedestal.
It does do that.
In this one, it's the second van.
Second van. Totally different.
It's a different movie.
It's like
no, because that's the first one had the first van, second one had the second van.
it confused me at first because I was like, is this even the same franchise of films?
Or, like I said, it is exactly that. The one for the one and two for the two. That's because this is the only way when trying to edit he could tell this one from the first movie.
so
At this point, my notes say sushi break.
Yep. So when watching the first movie, I was like, let's see how lazy they are with the writing here on how Kevin gets left behind. And I was actually quite impressed on how they explained just about how everything failed to that, the perfect like Murphy's Law situation where you could actually believe how they left Kevin behind. So
In
I'm
the
like-
90s.
In the 90s, yeah. I mean, modern technology would have solved it, but like...
Well, also, nowadays, he would have gotten stopped
Well,
way
true, yeah.
before he got anywhere
Yeah.
near that fucking
the
plane.
airport too. But anyway, so this one I'm like, well, let's see how they're going to do it this time. Is Kevin going to be missing here? They fake it out like, okay, Kevin's missing. We're not even going to explain it. And nope, Kevin's in the van. I'm like, all right, movie, fair enough. We got Kevin. Then let's see how they get
Yeah.
separated this time.
You
They're
know
like,
I'm
don't
onto
worry,
you."
we got lazy writing.
But that's the thing. I don't think him being in the van was smart writing. I think
Yeah.
him being in the van was somebody saying, shit,
Yeah.
if they leave him home, I have to figure out how he gets to New York. I'm not
Yep.
going to write that.
So
No, I think that was somebody being like, we're going to be clever about this. We're going to fake them out and think they just left him again. And then we're just going to put some bullshit in it. Doesn't fucking matter. Yeah.
I mean, at this point, my dad would have had either my brother or my sister, who are both much older and larger than I am, holding my hand through the entire airport. whether my brother liked it or not. It would have been like, too bad, you're Dragon Joe. Like, you think what's that?
Especially if they left your ass behind 1 year prior.
Yeah, you would think like his mom would not let him out of her sight for
Yeah.
1 second.
He would have been on a fucking papoose tied to her front.
But
like,
at the same time, at this point, he's probably like the only 11-year-old that has a concealed carry license, so he's probably fine.
At this point in the journey, we would almost be around New York City, and I always liked seeing the lights from the highway at about 4 a.m. So I would have been very awake.
I'm cutting off his mic.
So we're all talking
parents
about
were
one
afraid to
thing,
fly.
and
A
you're
movie.
somewhere else.
so
This
Well,
is
because my
not-
parents were afraid of flying. We
Is
would
there,
never go
like-
into an airport.
I'm going to charge him for therapy.
is stroke going around here? What is happening? Or is it just me? Because like you were spouting some nonsense. He seems to be on a story that I didn't hear like 3/4 of, and he's already in the middle.
All right. I'm glad it's not just me.
Yeah, no.
I'm allowed.
I was afraid that.
I'm the
We've
host.
known Brick for some time. That's how many of his stories go.
Fair, but
I've just talked to him enough that I know the story, so I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, so
But-
maybe the problem's with you.
it might be.
Trying to get us through. Okay, so bottom line, fucking Kevin's like, right now I need new batteries in my tape recorder, right where we're bum rushing the airplane. So I'm gonna steal my dad's bag. Dad's like, oh, you want to carry my bag? That's cute. Dad, you know better than that shit.
Yeah.
No, we
I
don't.
gotta record all this B-roll
He only
ambiance.
wants your bag because you just told him.
Yeah.
If I need to
What he
convince
wants is
a
in it.
criminal that they're
Also-
in the middle of a busy airport.
Also, fuck that. Like, he's only there for the batteries. Like, oh, you want to carry my bag? That's cute. The money's in there. He ain't
Yeah.
touching that
Yeah.
shit.
No.
It is not leaving my sight.
That
Yeah.
huge stack of American greenbacks that you
Yeah.
really needed to travel to Florida.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
So-
I mean, maybe they were going to Disney.
Or maybe wanted to get some meth. Huh?
There you
I don't know
go.
he's doing that. What does this guy do for a living? We still don't know. He
Meth.
some
It's
shady
old
shit.
money.
Deals meth.
It's the only thing that explains it.
Like how meth equals old money.
Well, no, just because they're
Yeah,
not smart
I
enough to
think
make new money.
equals old money, but I like that you brought it there.
All right, so bottom line,
It's his Sharknado royalty checks.
Kevin can only identify his dad by the beige coat that he's wearing.
Right.
And he sees someone else. The family leaves Kevin behind because they're hurrying to the plane, and Kevin's reloading his stupid
incompetent.
batteries. He follows this other guy on the wrong plane. Woody boo mix up. Everyone has to run on the planes real quick. The crack security here at the gate is just like, "You sure your parents are on this plane, little kid?" And he's like, "Yeah, they must be."
Yeah. I'm a child.
They're like, "Go in there and take any seat, any open seat.
Right.
Yeah.
Just do it."
Yeah, why
Don't-
not?
The co-pilot seat, whatever.
Yeah, we can't find your boarding pass, so we don't know where you're supposed to be. So, fuck it, have free reign of the place.
Make
Smells
sure he
full.
finds his parents. Get on there.
Yeah.
And they're like, point at any random person and say, that's my parent.
Oh, my
Oh, and
yeah.
don't worry. It doesn't matter which one it is because we're not gonna follow
Yeah.
through on
Yep.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I understand that Kevin might not want to, be anywhere near his family or check on them, but there's no way his mom would not get up and walk around that plane the first opportunity.
Like, Kevin, you're
to
here.
make sure
Kevin,
he's
Kevin,
there.
Kevin, you're on the plane. Kevin.
Yeah,
I mean, especially him, but yeah, like all the friggin' kids. Like,
yeah. All right, so they don't find out till they get to Florida, and it's raining the entire time they're in Florida. And then they're handing out their bags. They're like, pass this bag to Kevin, and they pass it down the whole line. It ends up with Kieran and Culkin. He pisses himself and passes the bag back, saying Kevin's not there.
The bag's wet.
The bag's wet. And they're like, oh my God, we left him behind again. They do the same exact, Kevin, pass out.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, we're not even going to try to make that different.
No. Jock test.
So now we
This was the time of like, we just anything that's popular, we just beat that horse to
Yup.
death.
Now, is John Candy still alive at this point, or had he fat chatted himself to death?
he's
I believe he was still alive. I know at one point he was going to be in this movie. Yeah, because they
Just
they were that lazy. They thought of that too. But I don't know if he passed away or he just wasn't available.
Okay.
I don't know why, but when you said John Candy was going to be in this movie, the role my mind made up is the first time we see the pigeon lady. Like Kevin screams and then John Candy just comes over and beats that woman to death with a clarinet.
Wow.
I don't know why my brain was like, yeah, that was what they were going to do with him.
It's like the fucking Hulk and Loki in the Avengers.
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Picks her up and starts slamming her against the
Nice little fake out.
Yeah, and the pigeons are like, we love you, but
We're going to consume your corpse.
none of us want to be the first person to go near John Candy. So.
I mean, unless he's got candy bars in his pocket.
All right, so now Kevin realizes he's in New York by himself, and he's like, I'm in New York by myself. I'll jiggle my eyebrows as hard as I can.
And again,
Worked the last time.
But this is the point where you can tell, like, he's getting older.
Yeah.
It's not as, like, cute. It's just like a preteen wiggling his eyebrows at the camera. Just like, all right, dude.
So now
I'm in Chuck E. Cheese
But he goes-
by myself. Like, ooh, dude, no. Too old for that.
He goes to see all the sights of New York, though. He goes to Times Square, Two Towers, anti-Semitic Elmo.
sees
We don't
he's a
have to go anywhere
12-foot
for
tall
that.
Santa.
Nightmare
Nightmare Santa
stilts.
with the thickest ass in all the land. But here's the thing
About all that.
I don't get. Like, so this montage is like Kevin enjoying himself, seeing the sights around New York, and, having a great time. Set to Nobody Should Be Alone for Christmas. Like a song that, should be a sad song.
Irony.
Well, he's in New York City.
See what you did there. Yeah. Maybe they were doing some background foreshadowing. Where they were like, in the back of his mind, he misses his mommy.
Maybe that's when they should have played this song. Either way, Harry and Marv arrive in New York City on a fish truck in the back. Marv immediately deploys his new gimmick. He has a tape hand. That's it. He's a sticky bandit.
I don't know why he has that. Was that from the first movie?
Nope.
No.
Like, it just...
That's his idea to be the sticky bandits instead of the wet bandits.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Fucking
despite their best efforts, they couldn't figure out how walking down the street he could still make things flood. So they had to switch something.
So I can think of a way he could be a wet bandit, but it's not going to work in a PG movie. Anyway, he has the power to
In New York, though.
use his sticky hand to steal any loose bit of clothing from anyone, and they will not give a fuck.
Not even loose. Those mittens he ripped out.
That's true. The mittens,
just
they had a string too.
They were linked together. Yeah.
Good point.
That kid fell, like, hard on ice.
And didn't have his mittens.
No.
Stole like 10 hats and just all this shit.
Yeah, no, it was like a magic power, like a special ability.
Viewers at home, please do not try this. But I dare somebody to just wrap their hand in tape and walk around New York City trying to steal shit from people. See how that goes for you.
Tape be damned. Just try and grab the first hat you see. Fucking around and find out.
You will get the shit kicked out of you and then robbed.
Yeah.
And then probably the shit kicked out of you again.
Okay. So now we're like, we need that guy that's like the neighbor with the snow shovel, but not that guy. So we need a spooky thing you'd encounter in New York. Pigeon lady?
Yeah, Shrek covered in bird shit.
Pigeon witch.
So, yeah, he wanders into Central Park and finds this bog hag.
That's a little hard.
All right, pigeon witch is fine. Bog hag's
That's
too
over
far.
the line.
That's over the line.
All of it's terrible, but I mean,
Well, she's a terrible.
give her some dignity.
Woman commands pigeons, and
Also, it's Bog Ohag.
Bogo hag,
Boglin.
and Kevin, rightly so, is
We'll eat
immediately
your
terrified
peas.
of her and runs away.
I mean, yes, of
Yeah,
course.
correct.
Yeah, I mean, fair.
Like taser ass.
So now he's going on the crosswalks, and so are the wet bandits. They're going in opposite directions, and For a second, Harry thinks he sees him, and he's like, he gets a funny feeling, but he's like, nah, keeps walking. So Kevin
That's his
goes.
danger sense tingling, like you're gonna almost die again.
So Kevin goes to the Plaza Hotel, crosses a gray-haired Donald Trump, who gives him directions to the front desk,
Ronald McDonald.
and he comes up with a plan to get a reservation at this hotel. He uses his talk boy and identifies himself as Peter McAllister, the father.
Yeah, he sets it to pedophile voice.
Yeah. So,
Which was a setting on the actual talk boy.
Yeah.
has anyone ever introduced, like, none of us here have kids, but like Will or Dave, have you ever once called anywhere to go and gone
Will
like,
has, yeah.
this is Will, the father,
Yeah, Will definitely has.
The father of what?
But he says the daddy.
the daddy? That's true.
Well, see, that's
And he does
Yeah,
it in
for
that
what
same
Will's
voice.
doing, that's important to specify.
Also, yeah,
this is just further evidence of what terrible parents his mom and dad are, that he doesn't even know what his father's job is.
Nope.
but also like
His father's gone to great lengths to
he
make sure.
says, well, yeah, no one knows.
That's admissible as
That
evidence.
is- that is
at
fair.
point.
But
Well, that's how he
also,
checks in the morning.
He does. He says he's the father. Does he ever mention to who or
Nope.
why or any reason for that?
So the tape's talking in a slow motion voice, so it has to be an adult.
This is Peter McAllister.
Have I told you how I almost caught Santa
The
by tripping him?
father.
What? Santa? Or-
By tripping him.
Yeah, well, that's what you do.
Yeah. I had my parents set up trip lines going into the living room, and I had an intercom set up to record when Santa fell on his ass, so that I knew that I needed to get up and then interrogate him. But because I had my parents help me with the trip lines, they knew where they were, and I never heard Santa. So that recording thing doesn't always work.
All right, great.
Again,
Awesome.
we're having a conversation here, and you're like almost there, but not at
like,
all.
He's like freaking Phoebe Cates from Gremlins.
More than that, like, do you know the Pat and Oswald joke?
Be
about-
more like Phoebe Cates from Fast Times.
No, no,
no, yeah, please.
no.
No,
That's
no.
That's when I tender my resignation.
No, but do you know that Pat and Oswald joke where he's talking about
Gay
open,
retards?
No, open mic night.
It's a bad Oswald.
Okay. No, he's talking
I'm
about.
gonna have to Google that later.
There's no,
You're gonna Google. I'm sorry, Tony, go ahead.
No, no, you gotta wait for this to blow over.
no, it's done. It's done. We're just.
Make sure your safe search is off.
Okay, Tony, and only Tony.
No, Joe.
Please talk.
Joe, just go. Just.
Okay. I'm sorry, Tony. I can't. All right. Here we go. So he checks in.
We have just given Brick
gets-
another hernia.
Yeah. He sees Tim Curry looking at him like he wants to eat Macaulay Culkin. I don't know if the script said that or that was just Tim Curry.
That's just.
So he checks in. Rob Schneider takes the stuff upstairs. Very early, Rob Schneider. He immediately as they go in the room, he like weasels through Kevin's bag. Oh, that's right, because Tim Curry was like, find out everything you can find out about the
His
boy.
underwear.
What's his blood?
And like, why though? Is it? I mean, is it because it said the father in the thing? Because
Yeah.
No, he just saw a kid and was like,
I'm gonna eat you.
yeah, something's up.
it's time.
Yeah, exactly.
A lone vulnerable child? Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one of those.
It's
movies.
Halloween.
What is that?
Exactly.
I forgot that was Tim Curry and that existed.
We'll find out if he floats. So anyway,
We all.
all right. Kevin's like, get the fuck out of my bag. Get the fuck out of my room. Rob Schneider's like, give me a tip. He gives him a stick of gum.
First of all right, fat chat bowel.
Yep.
Fruit strike gum?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Are you insane, man?
Not a
Fruit
du-
strike gum is the worst. It runs out of flavor as soon as you put it in your mouth.
I was gonna
as
say-
it leaves the wrapper. Sometimes.
I was gonna
your
say
breath.
that's the real foul is later on when Rob Schneider's like, no, I'm still chewing it. Like that's fruit stripe, boy. Do not.
He's been chewing that for a whole day. Like,
No,
like-
that has turned radioactive hours ago.
He's like, it's physically impossible for me to swallow it.
yeah,
It's just
I
stuck
can't.
to my
I can
mouth.
no longer produce saliva.
I mean, I did used to chew gum until it dissolved, but
So, we now
That
cut
turpentine
to,
you drank made it easier.
Kevin going to the hotel pool in his dad's swim trunks. It's gigantic. Kevin looks ridiculous. He comes
looks
over.
like a plucked chicken. You said, John.
Yeah, my notes were basically horrible albino, naked albino child, and looks like a raw chicken.
He asks Newt Gingrich, who's sitting in the jacuzzi, if he could work on his cannonballs. Newt Gingrich is like, I don't give a fuck. So Kevin does a cannonball out of his underwear. I don't know how that's possible,
Yeah,
but I don't want to find out.
I'm not sure it is, but
Well, he was wearing adult-sized trunks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but were
that's-
both of his legs through one
It's a
of the
cannonball.
lenticels?
It's not
Well,
clearing
yeah,
your...
if you're
but you-
going down like that, it should push them up your ass.
Yeah.
Not
Right, but
off your
when you
legs.
go down enough and then you have to swim back up
I
again.
suppose.
Zoop. I've seen it happen in real life.
Oh.
All right. So either way, it's supposed to be funny because his trunks are floating on the water. And we now cut to him watching Angels with Even Filthier Souls while getting a very fancy ice cream sundae, a 3-scooper.
2 scoops, 3. I'm not driving tonight.
Yep. And this, I have to say, of all the things that we tried to giganticize in the sequel, I think I do like the Angels with Even Filthier Souls is probably the best one.
No,
What is-
that's easy.
Is that the movie that?
Yeah.
It
That's
is? Okay.
the-
All right.
Yeah,
So this woman's been sleeping around with everyone, and
it's
I
been
mean
smooching, Joe.
smooching with everyone. Otter Pop, Zuma Croon,
Monster Mash,
Monster Mash,
P Unit.
Dominus Rex,
Little Mo with the gimpy leg.
Leg. Even if he's like, baby, I could go on forever.
Teddy P, slow mo, and
Peanut. Roosevelt. Bill S. Preston and Theodore Logan, Spock the Rock, Doc Ock, and Hulk Hogan.
Trigger.
It just keeps going. So anyway, so he's like, get on your knees and beg, and she's saying her love is like an ocean so wide it would take 2 planes to cross.
Like her legs.
Like her legs. And then he's like, all right, I tell you what, I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to get to the door. 1, 2, and then he has like an epileptic fit while firing the Tommy gun. Like he rotates like an action figure that can only turn at the waist, just spraying and praying at point blank range, emptying like all 100 rounds from that drum into this poor woman.
And the wall.
Mostly the wall.
Most of the wall, yeah.
The neighborhood.
And he's like, Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. And then, because it's the sequel, he's like, and have a happy new year, and shoots her again. And I was like, all right, movie, that part, you got me. Little Mo with the gimpy leg. So now Tim Curry's on the prowl. He's like, there any little kids in here? Just creeps into the room. And so Kevin, he has like 10 seconds to set this up. He was given earlier an inflatable clown.
He inflates it entirely.
Sets up a little control rig so that he can manipulate the arms on the clown.
Unless he had that shit set up the whole
It's
time,
possible.
which is possible. He may have been showering with that clown.
Oh, you think he's showering? He's a 10-year-old on vacation by himself?
That's true.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
wallowing
he
in
did
his
shower
own
in the
filth.
first one.
But
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, the
Because
average.
he was pretending to be an adult. And,
Yeah.
because he also shaved. And I think he's, at this point, adults fucking suck.
Yeah.
weird conversation. But no, but more to the point, like, why would he have this set up?
Why not?
for this very reason. Like,
Because for that person he knew would break into his fucking hotel room.
He saw
Kevin
Tim
McAllister.
Curry.
This is
He's
what he
like,
does.
I better have a backup plan.
The extravagance of the Rube Goldberg experiments that this kid has set up. You know he's got to be practicing, like, what if this random scenario plays out
But also,
and my cover's blown?
do
and-
not disturb signs exist. You also usually have a little latch on your
He
door.
doesn't
Yes.
know how that works. He's too short for the latch.
He also wants to torment people.
I think that's the
He's-
real thing.
He's the
there.
modern Dennis the Menace.
So
Dennis the Menace wasn't this bloodthirsty.
Kevin, his talk boy is essentially a magic item because its speaker connects you directly into the sound editor. Because like every time he uses it, it's not like coming out of a little handheld speaker. It's like ever-present sound, like the seraphims or cherubims or whatever, choiring it down from the heavens. Like it works exactly the way he wants it to.
Also, it doesn't matter like if you are 2 inches away from the mic or 10 yards.
Yeah.
You will be recorded very clearly.
And this is the most forgivable use of it because he's basically playing Uncle Frank singing in the shower and telling Tim Curry to get out of there, you pervert. That has never stopped Tim Curry before.
No, he would be in the shower.
Yeah. But
I thought you'd never ask.
yeah, in fairness, if it was just a recording of an old man going like that, still cause most people who are not Tim Curry to run out of the room. So Tim Curry runs away, knocks something over, and he's out.
He fucks that table up.
Yeah, what was that about?
I actually
time.
was wondering if you were going to say that was not planned and he actually tripped over it.
It's possible, but I was not able to find that.
So
It's probably just like, it's more funny than him just running out.
we see that the family is on a shitty vacation in
This
Florida.
audience is all jazzed up from the first one. We have to show pain soon. They're going to start tearing the seats out of the theater.
They arrive at a terrible Florida hotel
As you do.
infested with spiders and pythons and
Leprosy.
filth.
Yeah, was this
And McAllister.
where they were intending to go?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's where
I
Uncle
missed
Frank,
that part.
I think, picked the hotel because he was like, it looked better when we were on our honeymoon.
Yeah.
But I was on drugs back then.
So imagine
It
this.
was like 3 decades ago.
Imagine this entire plot was like a Mad Lib, and they were like, the family, meanwhile, is in, and then it's just an underline, and they were like, you don't really need to know the details. They're in Florida, and it sucks. Anyway, back to the kid.
So, we now get an important scene where Rob Schneider knocks on the door to discuss underwear with Kevin. And I don't know
Well, he's
exactly.
got to make that profit.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what was said here because Rob Schneider with a pair of boxer shorts on and hanger. And I'm just like, la 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 la.
It was like, you can't be flashing those babies
Yeah.
around here. There could be girls on this floor, and I'm thinking to myself, there are no girls on that floor.
And I'm thinking to myself, I need an adult.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't Jared at the door.
So
How did he end up with the, like, how did the conversation happen that Macaulay or Kevin, I guess, was like, hey, Rob Schneider's character, Chester or whatever, I really, that ice cream went right through me. You need to wash these.
it's a crime scene down there.
I need these back by tomorrow.
He probably walked up to the front desk and threw them at him.
Probably.
slapped him on the desk.
You rang the bell with him.
Just like wiping it down everywhere.
So anyway, all right. So
This is a body fluids episode.
I think this is the part where he's wants to give Rob Schneider a tip, and he's like, "No thanks, I have some from yesterday because the fruit stripe gum is adhered to his mouth."
Yesterday.
And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna give you this whole pile of 50s. I was gonna give you this whole pile of 50s, but I'm not gonna anymore. I'm gonna go downstairs and talk to Tim Curry, who is apologizing in the way like a Disney villain would apologize for not failing to kill him with his scheme."
It's Tim Curry.
Yeah, that's the person to do it. But he's like, "We got you a limo and a pizza," and he says it all weird, like, and Kevin's like, good, I'm done with you. I'm going out to my limo. We're going to a toy store. And yeah, he gets his own cheese pizza.
Like, I called out, if you're a kid in a ritzy hotel in New York, not your money, you get a limo and a pizza, are you going to go for the medium-sized cheese pizza? Like, even as a kid, I knew that you could get more than just a cheese pizza.
But did he order it, or did they just give it to him as...
He ordered that.
Okay.
Yeah,
You know,
It's most unorthodox.
I think, his gluttonous nature has certain limitations, and he knows I can't eat a full-size cheese pizza and then go running around a toy store.
Well, at least got a medium with more than just cheese.
Well, he's
on
also
it.
not a big fat pig like us.
Also,
Did you see the room that he was in the night before?
He's a
Surrounded by
pig.
ice cream and candy?
He's a pig, but he's not a
well,
big fat
he's
pig.
probably suffering from the consequences of that dairy bender.
Yeah. He also
So
has...
he doesn't want to tempt
He doesn't want to
me.
ruin
yeah.
those underwear
Yeah.
again.
He also has something I like to call a child's metabolism.
So now we cut to Tim Curry running the credit card number and seeing that it's stolen, and it dissolves from him finding out it's stolen, smiling to the Grinch, and it's the same picture. And so we cut back to Harry and Marv. Marv is ice skating and just stealing like every fucking thing that
Dumb shit.
with his tape hand, like it's like he's got like Skyrim pickpocketing 100. He's just like
he has to, because if it was
Yeah.
real, like if it was actual tape, like that tape, the first two things he took, now his hand's all fuzzy and it doesn't stick to anything anymore.
It's like,
It's
like that-
Yoshi,
He's
and
the
just,
fuzzy
like,
bandit.
He's the fuzzy
snapping
bandit.
his-
it's like
his
that
arm.
early part of Spider-Man, but it only happened to the one hand.
so now
He's the fuzzy bandits.
their plan is let's rob a toy store because they'll have a ton of cash on Christmas Eve
Sure.
and no one will be expecting that.
Right.
Lucky for Harry, this movie does not know how retail stores work.
Toy store, Christmas Eve,
like-
New York City, big glass window
Well,
front. Yeah,
the
let's
part-
just leave the cash here.
The particular one that they pick
Yeah.
where the scheme actually would have worked, it's because that particular store,
The owner is a moron.
because the owner is an idiot.
He's dead, so.
No, he's not.
I'm
Not
just-
In a real store, or
What?
No,
He's not dead.
He's not.
He's
yeah.
not a ghost.
There are no ghosts in this film.
no ghost?
No,
Not
No
a
I
ghost.
was
ghosts.
joking about
Oh.
that.
Keep moving.
Anyway, yes, the owner of this particular very successful toy store keeps all the money they make on New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve, in the cash register, so they can just dump it all into a big chest and give it to what was it, St. Anne's Children's Hospital.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we have huge business Christmas Eve. We leave it all in a big chest, visible from the giant window out front,
Yep.
and then Christmas morning will come, and then we'll take it
Yeah.
to the kids.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because
What?
the kids aren't going to want it on Christmas Eve.
Well, they're trying to wait till the last minute to see maybe, if any of the kids didn't make it.
So either way,
They
Save a few
they
bucks?
keep that money,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a cost-cutting measure.
so
Jesus.
Oh,
we have-
I wrote some down there much worse than that.
he said some things in this episode that are much worse than that.
Yes, he has.
So
I didn't say those things.
Yeah,
you
did.
sure did.
I was quoting.
Quoting you. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. All right. Anyway, Harry and Marv and Kevin are all in this toy store, and this is supposed to be the greatest toy store in New York. This toy store sucks.
It sucks.
Like the decorations are cool, but these toys are fucking lame.
Fucking nothing but nutcrackers.
This is like a Christmas tree shop pretending to be a toy
It
store.
really is, and that shit went out of business for a reason.
Not like this is the one that you would take your kids to get excited about the holiday season.
Yeah.
Not the one that you'd be like Christmas Eve, you can get toys here. There's
No,
toys here.
this is legit like that one shop in all, like if you go to any little like old timey shopping town, they always have like one Christmas store. It's just all fucking nutcrackers and decorations, and you can get a stuffed unicorn or whatever, but that's about it.
You could get a tube of dragon lube. You could get a pocket knife. You could get a map of New York.
This is the greatest toy store around that only sells things made of wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Santa's Workshop directly produces.
Exactly.
So,
In
All right.
China.
Also, I keep looking at your rice cake thing and thinking it's a bag of like raw hamburgers.
Brick would eat that too. Old Brick would, yeah. So anyway, so at this point, we think that Duncan, the man running the store, might be a ghost because Kevin looks at a painting
think he's a
of
ghost.
E.F. Duncan and then turns around and he disappeared.
Yeah.
And so for a couple seconds, I'm like, is he a ghost?
Had to check the bathroom cameras.
So Kevin goes outside, uses the magnifying glass on his pocket knife to look at a map. Harry and Marv grab his ass. They're like, remember us? Kevin's plays his cards right here, just fucking screams.
But he immediately drops the map and the
Yep.
new pocket knife he just bought, and they disappear from the movie.
Don't worry, the dragon lube will come
The
into
dragon
play
movie
later.
somehow kept, yeah. That was down his pants.
Kevin runs by a street vendor, buys 2 pearl necklaces, does the old Batman,
Before he got 2 of them from Harry and Marv.
does the old Batman's mom move,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, somewhere there's a Batman crying.
He gives him the old Snyder cut.
sprays pearls everywhere. Harry and Marv are immediately knocked out. And
On the ground.
yeah, he runs back to the hotel. But now at the hotel, Tim Curry's been waiting all day. He's like, I'm going to eat me this kid now. Stolen credit card. And yeah, he runs right past him. So now, like, the hotel staff's chasing him. And some pratfalls happen where Kevin sets it up so that the 3 people in the hotel triple clothesline each other. Runs up to his room, goes in there, and now it's like a security guard named Cliff and Ted Turner have joined Tim Curry, Rob Snyder, and I forget the name of this woman who
McGonagall.
pretty much
Yeah,
Professor
basically.
McGonagall, younger Professor McGonagall.
You are not wrong.
She has a weird name in this movie, though.
Crunter Hunsley.
Rob Schneider.
Hester Stone.
Hester
That's her
Stone. Yeah.
character.
I
name.
like mine better.
Didn't you have a bout of
I
those a
just called
couple
her
weeks
bird,
ago?
I just called her Bird Lady number 2. Yeah, I didn't have a Hester Stone I had to pass.
So anyway,
Looked about the same,
Did it
too.
have a scarlet letter
Its
A on
face
it?
was just as sharp.
Jagged and
all right.
jagged and
So
unloving.
again, the well, this time it's a TV, but it's the same principle. It sounds exactly how it needs to sound to fool these 5 people. Where angels with even filthier souls now deceive them into thinking that there's a man with a gun in the next room, and that they should all bow down and say that
They love
him.
Now, we did pass over something about the toy store. Didn't he get the ornaments?
Yeah.
And donated, yeah, because he donated
Oh, so he-
$20 of his
Yeah.
own.
He
I-
donated money
Oh.
to the terminal orphans.
Which also, yeah, I am kind of glad you went back to this because fuck this kid. He says to, like, oh, that money's going to orphans. All right, I'm going to give you this money. I shouldn't be spending it, but I have some stored away at home so I can replace it. Like, motherfucker, you took a limo here. You are blowing money like wildfire.
It's also his dad's money.
It's
not
it's the
his.
credit card. That's not real money. He doesn't understand how
But
that
no,
works.
The cash he's got is his dad's money. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? You're spending like crazy.
All right.
Well, yeah. So because he gives money to this charity, the old guy is like,
Oh no.
Mr.
Oh no.
he gives him 2 dove ornaments,
yeah.
and
He gives him the old
says-
turtle dove.
yeah.
He's like, they're hand painted by the kids with terminal diseases. And Macaulay Culkin's like, why are they all gray? He's like, terminal diseases.
So, bottom line, he's like, give this to someone you love or whatever. I don't know. Get out of my store. So,
Whoever you give this to, you'll be friends forever.
friends forever. That's it. All right. And that's what I think he's a ghost because he disappears.
And you see like the old timey painting
Yeah.
of him as the founder of the
It
store.
moves a little bit. It winks.
There is no toy store. There is only zoo.
All right, so basically,
Why, he died 12 years ago.
On a throne of blood.
again, don't know how that works. So,
Well, it was the throne.
yeah.
And he just shit himself bloody and died.
My anus is bleeding.
So
Hemorrhage.
anyway, he gets out of the hotel, this predicament with, the guy shooting the Tommy gun, and then he jumps off the loading dock into the waiting arms of a Joe Pesci, which is a fate I do not wish on my worst enemy. Joe Pesci's like, oh, going somewhere, let's take this ticket and rip it up. So now Kevin can't go back to Chicago. And at this point, though, they're like, we'll tell you the entire plan while you play your tape recorder. So you have that on us.
Because he's
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah. Well, Marv is an idiot, yeah.
Yeah.
He endured a lot of skull trauma last movie, and it never really healed.
You're not wrong. He's just getting stupider every film.
So Kevin gets out of this predicament.
To the point he eventually turns into French Stewart.
His final evolution.
But wait, this isn't even my final form.
What?
Marv has become concussed. He evolves into French Stewart.
Evolves, come on.
Also a fate I would not wish upon my worst enemy.
So they're walking with Kevin at a crosswalk. Kevin gets out of this predicament by pinching a lady's ass, who happens to be the same lady that Marv already got his tape hand stuck to her purse earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
She slapped him that time. This time she punches him so hard he falls down. And then Kevin's like, no, it was him, and points to Harry, and she punches Harry so hard he falls down.
And this is when Zach Morris comes out and pauses the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this was a mistake. Joe Pesci's about to curb stomp this woman.
But she walks away, but I'm like, you're by the curb. She just walked into traffic. So-
Well,
She'll punch them too.
Yeah.
Joe Pesci pushed her in
Traffic
traffic.
stops for her, Joe.
True. All right. So now he runs into Central Park. He's like, all I got are these cookies I stole from the hotel. Meanwhile, we cut back to the family in Florida. They're watching Spanish It's a Wonderful Life. And they find
The
out.
last movie they were watching, the French one.
Right,
Yeah.
so he's find and replace
Yep.
I forgot about that.
French with whatever funny Florida language. And that would be Spanish.
Cuban.
Florida language.
It's John Hughes.
In
not-
fairness,
She goes
It's John
Cuban.
Hughes.
Because Cuban is a language, not a country.
It's a sandwich.
fairness to Rob, though, it will not be long before Florida has developed its own stupid language.
Because who doesn't like a nice crunchy apple? All right.
So
What?
So
you don't want that explained to you. So yeah, they find out Kevin's in New York. They're getting flights to New York. The family's like, yay, we could get out of this shithole.
go to our own shithole that we live in.
Meanwhile, Kevin's in Central Park. He gets accosted by the spooky lady, the pigeon lady. His foot's stuck in a rock somehow. She frees it. He runs away screaming, and then he turns around. He's like, wait a minute. That's
Sorry, I
just a
screamed in your
homeless
face."
lady.
She comes up out of the rocks like a Jim Henson.
That is true. I forgot. She does. Her pigeon hat does camouflage her in a manner not
She rises from the ground
Not
like the
unlike
trash
the
heap
trash
in
heap,
Fraggles.
yes.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly, yeah.
She rose up out of the trash heap on the other side of that rock.
Rise from your doom.
So, all right. She shows him how to feed pigeons, and they go off to sneak into, I forget the name of that theater, but they're watching some classical music, and they decide to have a talk. And there's a bird that I kept focusing on that's behind Kevin that has its ass in one of those like costume dummies, just pooping his little heart out. But anyway, so before they go to the theater, though, I do have to point out this movie tries to make it look like when you throw a bunch of birdseed up in the air to attract a bunch of pigeons, that's whimsical and magical. Like if you've been to New York,
All right. So
it is neither of those
Gross
things.
and awful.
Yeah.
for a while, I had not been to New York for like 10 years. And then I went to New York and I was like astounded by all the pigeons. And I was like toreadoring about the pigeons for quite an extended period of time. I was like, some of them are just all black pigeons. I didn't even know that was a thing.
All right,
They
so
were
if you're
flying away.
Brick,
All right.
And someday you will be the crazy pigeon man in Central Park.
Oh, I hope so.
As I pointed out when we were watching, is the bigger thing is not just whether you think it's whimsical or not. At this point, they are presenting it like it's whimsical. Later, they will present it like it's a horror movie.
yeah.
You can't do that in the
They
same
should have
movie.
thrown in a little bit of the birds, like
Yeah, it was-
soundtrack.
I mean,
right there.
well, yes,
like,
but like you can't have your cake and eat it too like this. That's not a good idea.
So
Birds do.
in the theater where they're talking, and honestly, I didn't get a lot of this conversation because we were
It's a
just
stupid conversation.
we were just yelling a bunch of nonsense during this part of the movie. But
Want me to break it down for you?
no. So I got the important part.
I got the TLDR on this one.
She says, "Do you know that a good deed erases a bad deed?" That is not true.
Incorrect.
That is not how life works.
Also, she's out on the street because she lost her job and I guess decided not to get another one.
Well, no,
And
no,
He's
no.
afraid of love and trust.
She was in love with a man.
Right.
It
stop
didn't work.
projecting, Rob.
Okay, shut up.
She was in love with a man. It
Yeah.
didn't work out.
Still
so
projecting.
she was hurt and decided to never love again or
Right.
trust anyone or do anything
Or wash.
but live in a park with some pigeons.
The van down by the river.
Hey,
Yeah,
So
that did touch
It's
home
all-
a little bit.
I was in love
It's
with
all
the van.
largely to have the point of the, if you don't use your heart, why have it? Or blah, blah,
to
whatever.
circulate my goddamn blood. Oh.
Correct.
So Kevin goes over to the children's hospital, sees a kid whose heart is having trouble circulating his goddamn blood.
And he's like, "Can you paint my ornaments?"
So yeah, at that point, Kevin vows that he's not going to let that money for the hospital be stolen, even though the shopkeeper ghost is a moron.
Well, like I,
He's
s-
a kind moron.
like I said,
Security
he-
cameras don't exist. by
this
the
is
way.
where he comes to the conclusion that to get past the bad deeds of being mean to his family, to abandoning them, to the credit card fraud, and to whatever else terrible things he's done, to make up for all that, he will kill two men.
Yeah,
That will be his good deed for the night.
Isn't that capitalism in a nutshell?
That's the
I-
thing. Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
But that's so maybe it's not a fully good deed, but as the bird monster said, good deeds count double at Christmas.
That's worth four men.
So it
his
equals,
balance would still
it
be
equals one whole good deed. A half good deed equals one.
well,
whole
no,
good deed.
wait, no, he's murdering two people and he's saving one toy store. That math equals out.
But he's saving all those children in the
He's
children's
he's
hospital.
murdering two criminals.
Two criminals. Yep.
So that counts
Which
even
I guess,
more.
if we're taking intent in here, they are child murderers.
Yeah. I think on the scales of
Attempted
Ma,
child murderers.
his soul would still be lighter than the feather.
Yeah. All right. His heart's not getting eaten by not Anubis. Who's the crocodile?
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry. His heart's not getting eaten by Tim Curry today. So
I really now want to see the third Home Alone where they charge them with the murder of all those children or attempted murder of all those children.
Well, maybe we'll get
wanna
lucky.
see Tim Curry
and
with
we'll roll the
Anubis.
third Home Alone.
No,
so
please no.
we in the span of a 2-minute montage, Kevin breaks into his uncle's house, which it's being renovated. He gets in
Double
there.
quotes renovated.
Yeah, but okay, but
It's being destroyed by the ravages of
It's being
time.
condemned.
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's clearly an abandoned house, but these people apparently live there and have just recently gone on vacation
that's what
from
they-
this home.
That's what they told the rest of the family.
Yeah.
They live in the park with the bird.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, we're just renovating.
We're moving to Paris.
Yeah, we're moving to Paris. Meanwhile, they're in the basement shooting up.
Yeah.
We're in a trailer park in Tennessee."
Because seriously, we're told they're renovating, but it looks like the fucking the end of Batman when that bell tower falls to the floor.
They have long
And then,
since been
just like
devoured
the
by
end
the
of
pigeon
Batman.
woman.
It's just like the end of Batman because they're wearing the berets. Because they're French now.
Nailed it. Oh, okay. So He sets up a bunch of traps. Operation Ho 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 is go. The family arrives at the Plaza Hotel and slaps the shit out of Tim Curry. He enjoys it.
That was the second time I laughed in this whole movie.
So they have a complimentary suite on account of the hotel losing their child. And we cut to heist time.
Well, it's a quick note on
That's
this.
a fair trade.
No. Quick note on this. Yeah, this is a whole era of fuck ups going on here. Because, like, first of all, the cops like, all right, your kid has your money and your credit cards, so like report those stolen, so they're not worth anything.
Yeah.
Terrible idea.
Yeah,
He
terrible.
does it, so of course they are like, oh, these are stolen. We're going to confront this kid with stolen credit cards. And then the dad's pissed, like, why would you let him get away? Like, you did this. Like, just track them. Like, idiots.
Also, why are you immediately accosting the kid when he arrives at the hotel, not when he's at his room?
Yeah, that probably would have been better.
Actually, I'm sorry, we're backtracking here, but one other thing. During the part with the angels with filthy souls or whatever, when he's shooting the gun and Tim Curry and co are jumping on the floor, crawling away. How the fuck did Kevin get out of that room? They are by the door. Does that suite have two doors?
Suite may well have
Yeah,
doors.
that's,
I don't know.
That's for the help.
yeah.
Okay.
That suite was stupid big. It probably had two doors.
Fair enough. Okay, either way. So now, they're robbing the toy store, right? The sticky bandits. And Kevin comes in, takes a picture of them, through the window, and then throws a brick to set off the alarm.
And just to be clear,
Yep.
they were in the store when it closed because they were hiding in tiny houses.
Yes. Sound plan.
Because nobody goes around to see if there's anybody else left.
I mean, like, when I closed the store, I'd check the bathrooms and, like, the stockroom and stuff. But, well, granted, we didn't have tiny houses, but I don't think I would check every fucking thing.
Joe,
if I wanted to go.
that's why it's just not doing so good.
Yeah.
Shit like
Gotta
that
get those
happens.
tiny houses.
Yeah.
I got locked in a Sears once. So, I mean, stuff happens.
Also, on Christmas Eve, they want to get the fuck out of there.
I think it was the first time I got pulled over for walking. I was at an amusement park after they closed.
Well, there you go. So, Kevin's plan here, he's going to...
So you were pulled over for trespassing.
Yeah.
I mean, we were walking at the time in the mini golf area.
I wonder how many people are going to make it through this episode.
In crow makeup.
No.
So-
that was the third time I got pulled over.
Oh, okay.
He's yeah. He looks at Harry and Marv,
Please.
snaps a pic, throws a brick, sets up a springboard, shows his turns a trick, shows his dick,
It gets real sick.
gets real sick.
Oh, I love this shit.
All right, so
You know what? Couple pics of that all together. Those guys are going away for a long time.
Also, hey, shout,
He can't even
All right.
say it.
cancel whatever that is. All right,
Before
so
it cancels us.
the first trap here makes no fucking sense. You got your common seesaw springboard. Joe Pesci jumps on it. Then fucking
Spends 20 minutes
yeah.
going, oh,
No!
wait, no.
Don't come out the window. So Marv comes out, and I guess he's as dense as a dying star because he jumps on the other end of this board and launches Joe Pesci into the stratosphere.
Both literally
Like,
and figuratively.
He's up there for a few seconds and then comes down, crashes through the hood of a fucking car or like the roof of a car. And you're like, movie.
Which they do say if you're falling from a plane, that is one of the things you should aim for.
Sure.
What?
Better than the
If
better
you
than
don't
the
have a
pavement.
parachute, if you aim for something like a car and you spread your body out, because there's so much...
You won't die immediately on
Most
impact.
of your organs will be in one spot instead of spread everywhere.
No, they say that because like all of your bones may break,
No, yeah,
but you won't immediately die, and there's still a chance that you might live.
no. Well,
If you're better
I
off.
think I'd rather
If
go
you
ahead
want
first
to.
at that point. Just,
So
if I'm falling from a plane.
but I will also say I will disagree slightly in that this first trap is really important because it tells you what you need to know here.
True.
Which
How
is
stupid are they?
yeah, all these traps are going to be easily avoidable. They are very stupid to fall for them, but they will murder you.
This is Tom and Jerry at this point.
also, yeah.
Well, Tom and Jerry, but like, it's going to be brutal.
So
Or I guess Tom and Jerry is pretty brutal. So yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
The violence was fairly graphic last time, but it's like last time it was things that like it started and it escalated. Like it started with a BB gun, and then it was like slipping on stairs and stuff like that. Like, you know, this one's like just turns it up to 10 immediately.
Well, he's been through this before. You
I
know,
guess,
he
but,
At
knows.
this point, he knows the stakes are these guys want to kill
Yeah,
me.
Yeah.
But
He
I
also
mean,
knows how to
more
kill them.
the movie from a dramatic pacing. It's like this shit loses its effect real quick.
Oh yeah.
Because
the last
you're just like, why aren't they dead? Why aren't they
movie
dead?
also
Why
had
aren't
at
they dead?
least some semblance of grounding in reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So
micro machines on the floor, then ornaments.
Well,
and,
let's
like
do
Albert
something
on the
that
foot.
takes his shoes off. Maybe.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I feel like that was probably part of the problem, which was like the last movie was more grounded in reality, but it like probably made people think like, oh shit, like should my kids be watching this because they'd be hurt?
Now
So-
he's just like, you might as well just put a shotgun in their
well,
mouth.
that's the thing. I think they were like, we're gonna make sure you know this is nonsensical and cartoonish by upping the ante, but in doing so and with the Foley work, this makes it seem all the more worse.
So, yeah. We get to the house, and we're at the part that everyone would want to watch the movie for. It's time for the villains to go through the Hall of Horrors in this house. The jigsaw traps commence. It starts with Kevin. First, he takes a picture from the roof, throws some shade down there. Joe Pesci's like, I don't care. What are you going to do? Throw a brick? I could dodge bricks. Daniel Stern's like, I can't dodge bricks.
Any of them, they're magnetized to my face apparently.
Immediately
He's
just
sticky.
hit right in the forehead with a brick. And you're like, oh, God. Like, it's so brutal.
Like, it's like there, he would probably be dead right there.
Yeah.
This is like a 3 or 4, I think 4-story building.
Yeah, your brain case is, collapsing inward. And he gets hit with 4 fucking bricks to his face through
To
this whole
his
thing.
face.
Yeah.
Not just hit with the bricks, to his face.
And Harry, meanwhile, keeps talking the good shit, knowing full well that the bricks are hitting Marv, not giving one fuck.
He probably kind of wants that. It's
Yeah.
like, if he dies, I didn't kill him.
Then he's like, Marv, get up. You do the front door, I'll go around the back.
What's a door?
Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, Marv has been hit so many times that he can no longer make words and is just going.
So it explains his actions for the rest of this.
Hey, good news, guys. Marv is now getting that money on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Because he's going right into that hospital.
Terminal illness.
So, yeah. And so now,
He's got the mind of a 4-year-old. So, I don't know.
while Joe Pesci's running around the block, Marv here steps up to the door, and the doorknob's on a string. So he pulls it out, and he's like, I guess I'll just keep pulling this string.
So concussed.
Yeah, and it's connected to a staple gun that fires a staple into his ass, which you're like, all right, that's kind of bad. That's not too bad, though. But it has stapled the string to his ass, so as he's turning around, it's firing it again. At which point he ends up kneeling down and triggering it, so it fires a staple right in his fucking nose, like right between his eyes.
real close to his eyes.
Yeah, that made me flinch.
Yeah.
Like that actually had more dramatic effect to me than the revolver in the keyhole from Saw 2. So anyway, so now, like while that's happening, Harry has gone around the block, decides his course of entry into this this house is he's going to jump off of a pallet onto the bottom rung of a ladder, like. Harry is going to be able to pull himself up there. Like he knows that's not going to work.
It's an ambitious
Yeah.
plan, to say the least.
Well, no, because Joe Pesci's known for his mad ups.
Yeah. So he jumps, he catches the bar, which has been dragon lubed. And
That's some good stuff, by the way.
slips
Highly
and
recommend.
falls probably, 6 to 8 feet
You got that with your bad dragon toy.
onto the pavement. You're like, all right.
Somewhere.
So he's down there for a little while. Now at this point, what's his name? Marv has opened the front door where there's a gigantic hole that no one would fall into, but I'll forgive him because he's had a staple possibly in his eyes, and his skull is no longer like one bone.
Yeah. Oh, it's paste. It's paste.
So
It has pierced his brain in several spots.
So he walks forward, falls down on his face. He gets up and he's like, Wow, what a hole.
His body can no longer grow hair.
At the back door, Harry
Yeah, buddy.
opens the back door, not checking for any tripwires above it, and a whole like big ass hockey bag full of tools drops on him.
You know, that an 11-year-old kid
Lifted
hoisted
up
up.
Yeah. Again, that is kind of fucked up because, like, you know, it's. I assume the idea is that he's getting a little smarter because when he goes to the door, you see him touch it to make sure it's not hot. Like, oh, I learned from the last movie.
He checks for
Yeah.
traps.
But I didn't look up at all.
Nope.
Like, at all.
So
He has a 1 dot on that skill on his character sheet. Just 1.
So what confuses me more
Lower.
is now he's in. So he's like, I'm going to start like turning on lights because I don't want it to be dark in here. And I'm looking up at the ceiling as I'm doing it because I don't want shit to fall on me because it already did. So he's doing that. And I guess he just gets into a false sense of security because by the time he reaches the bathroom and turns that one on, that's connected to a fucking blowtorch that ignites his head like immediately. Again. But this time,
Pesci candle.
because we have to, amp it up because it's a sequel,
Yep.
the toilet has been filled with kerosene.
Yeah, he can't stick his head in the snowbank this time.
And the water's been turned off on the faucet. And he can't take the hat off because that would ruin the special effect.
Yep.
So,
And the gag.
yeah. He does a handstand into toilet, which causes an explosion. And just covers him in soot like a cartoon. Like he put his head in a cannon barrel in a cartoon.
Like you'd expect the Wile E. Coyote effect where he just kind of like wilts afterwards.
So now, while that's happening, Marv down in the basement is walking along and he steps on more dragon lube and starts like slipping and sputtering in place. He's running like a Scooby-Doo character and then falls, and the laws of physics just violently betray him because he falls down vertically and then launches at like 4 times the velocity horizontally across the room, and like fucking E Honda is a rack of paint which falls on him.
Yeah, actually, what if Kevin has the power of Bethesda glitches?
Yeah, I mean that's what happened here.
Or Marv has Lydia's AI.
Yeah.
I will say it's also the only thing that explains how he gets around this house.
Stepping on the same pressure plate into the same swinging gate over and over.
and over.
I won't let it end like this. Anyway, so now Marv's like, oh, there's a rope I can climb because I'm in shape to do that after everything that's happened to me.
Also,
And
I'm going to trust that.
Yeah, it's secure. I tugged on it. It's not moving. Yeah, so I'll put all my weight on it. Turns out it's tied around 100 pounds of cement mix, which immediately just falls right on his head. Like,
Also dead.
at that point, you don't have
Broken
a neck anymore. Like,
No.
you're looking out of your shoulders as your head has been shoved in
A
there.
goddamn turtle.
Yeah, like a turtle.
At this point, you don't have, you just have a torso and it ends, and then everything else is just dragon lube.
Yeah.
Maybe there's an eyeball floating in it, but like your head is just mush.
You are the worst kind of human
gone.
snail.
Oh, actually, we did skip one because he went to wash the paint off of himself.
Oh.
And turns out the sink was hooked up to an arc welder
yeah.
generator.
Yeah,
And,
that's...
That was the official Tom and Jerry moment.
Yeah.
electrocuted Daniel Stern so hard he was a skeleton for a little while.
Yeah.
Actual skeleton,
Yeah.
not like
Full on became a-
superimposed, translucent.
Nope.
Actual skeleton.
So yeah, now he's crushed by cement. At this point, you're like, why is this man even like? He's so done.
He's gonna have
Yeah.
mesothelioma later,
Among other things.
Yeah.
among other things.
Actually, I will give him more credit because that's probably the only thing keeping his head in one piece at this point.
Mesothelioma?
Well, just in general, all the cement that's now in
Oh,
his
yeah.
Yeah, the
nostrils and
various
everything.
chemicals are bonding him together.
He's going to become a Spider-Man villain at this point.
Yeah. So he climbs up a junk pile he made to the second floor. Harry now is chasing Kevin. Kevin runs up a ladder to the next floor. Harry tries to climb the ladder, but the ladder's been cut so it can support a Macaulay Culkin, but not a Joe Pesci.
A naked albino chicken.
And so the ladder breaks and Joe Pesci falls face first on the ground. But that's one that honestly, like, if you just rode the ladder down, like, that's going to hurt your knees and elbows and whatnot. But, like, you're not going to be really all that hurt by
Also,
it.
like, break your
He was
fingers,
maybe
though.
like his feet were
maybe
like
break his fingers,
a foot off the ground at that point.
Also,
Yeah.
just kind of push off. Lay
Yeah,
on your
just-
feet.
just
You'll be
let go.
fine.
Yeah.
Well, just land
Like,
on
that's
your
a mild
shoulder.
inconvenience.
Yeah, or like put your shoulder
Yeah.
into it and land on that. So that's nowhere near as bad as like Marv has died like 6 times.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so
Yeah, Marv gets the brunt for sure.
now they run to the stairs and they're like, okay, last time he threw paint cans at us, so we got a plan this time. We'll pretend that the paint cans have hit us. And this gave me a visceral revulsion because like after they know he's out of paint cans, they start heading up the stairs and he swings a fucking metal pipe down at them.
A sewer pipe.
Yeah.
Sewer pipe, yeah.
Like 4 inches in diameter,
Like,
if not 6.
Iron.
And
There's no way he
Iron
lifted
sewer
it,
pipe.
kind of a
yeah,
pipe.
and it hit them straight in the face.
It's probably cast iron. Like,
And
and
honest-
knocked them through the hole into the basement.
Honestly,
Knocks them backwards into the paint cans and then through
yeah,
the
through
hole.
the hole, yeah.
Like,
honestly,
Bullet broke their fall.
watching the what's his name, watching the guy from RoboCop get dismembered by 5 guys with shotguns didn't get the same reaction from me that pipe to the face did. So like they're back down in the basement now. They come back up. They're
Oh,
gonna
wait.
what?
even the
Then he
fake
cuts the
Oh,
rope.
that's right. He cuts the rope so the pipe falls on him.
Like even
This
a
would be
fake pipe had
aggravated
to suck it
homicide.
in the
Yeah.
face, unless it was like foam.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure, but I'm sure it wasn't. It was probably pretty soft.
So they come back up and they're going to try the other stairs, which Kevin has rigged a rope on the doorknob to a toolbox, which in a cartoonish manner stays vertical the entire trip down the stairs, vomiting tools in front of it.
Also, in a cartoon manner, they're like, "What's that noise?"
Yeah.
Let's get closer to the door and listen. And it knocks the entire door vertically off its hinges and presses them against the wall to the point that their noses bend inward. Mm-hmm. And you're like, movie, just come on. Mm-hmm. And so they snap their noses back into place, go up to another level, at which point Kevin is now on the roof and he climbs down a rope that he set there. And Harry's like, come on, we're climbing down this rope. And Marv's like, I don't wanna. This is not gonna end well.
Also, you have a gun. Did we mention
Yeah.
you have a gun?
Had a
Also,
gun, so-
the stairs are clear now because you've disarmed all the traps with your gigantic hit point pool.
Yeah.
And Kevin's even like, come on down. It's a lovely night for some neck trauma.
Yeah. So, as they're going down,
Psycho killer.
he's like, "Hey, Harry, are you wearing aftershave?" Harry's like, "No, that's kerosene." Oh,
You're wearing underwear.
yeah. So Kevin lights the rope on fire. At this point, I just take my chances with the damn burning rope.
Yeah.
But like they let go and fall through scaffolding down onto pavement.
They were halfway down
Yeah.
at that point.
Yep.
And it would have been better off for them to just let go of the rope.
Yeah.
I don't care if I was at the top. At this point, I'd be like, I'm taking this little fucker with me. Like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna die, but he's going with me.
So
I'm dropping through this scaffolding he's on and taking his ass out.
yeah, they fall through the scaffolding onto pavement, which launches all these cans of varnish up in the air. Which, granted, the cans empty their contents while they're in midair, but still, that's metal cans.
And
That
flammable
peppers,
varnish.
yeah, and they're covered in varnish, which will come into play in a little while. And then what's
So
called there?
many VOCs.
He's running away now. He's running down the street, and he calls the cops. He's like, "Go to Central Park, look for the fireworks." And then
They got a gun. Hurry.
yeah, they got a
This is
gun.
the father.
And this part, like I like Kevin getting hurt, but like I feel like he just slips on ice, and that's it, and he's out. Like, and they catch him,
Yeah.
and it's like after.
Well, he would have. That was just poor execution of him landing his bump. Where
Yep.
It was supposed to he got head trauma.
Yeah, he
And-
got concussed a bit.
But they didn't sell it well at all with the.
Well, because again, it's in the same movie where a guy took 5 bricks to the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's
they
like-
got Daniel Stern. That's Marv, right?
Yeah.
He executes his physical
Yeah.
comedy and he sells
yes.
the hits. Like you believe that they happened.
Yeah.
What I'm saying here is that they had Macaulay Culkin stunt double like slip, and then they cut away from him actually landing,
Yeah.
and then they cut in Macaulay like doing a bump poorly, so it doesn't look like he landed that hard.
Ow, my head.
11-year-old kid.
But
Yeah.
then the world spins and he blacks out for a minute.
Yeah, it's like in the end of like Metal Gear Solid when you're fighting Snake or whoever
Crap out.
in a giant mecha and you're firing missiles into the cockpit that's open and blowing. You fire like 20 missiles in there, and the mecha he's in fucking explodes, and the blast throwing you against the wall knocks you unconscious. And the next scene begins with he came over, picked you up, and brought you on top of Metal Gear to have a fist fight. And you're like, I can't take what's happening seriously if there's just like there's no consequences for how much damage you did to them.
Joe.
And the first thing that happens to you just takes you out.
The crab has a knife. What do I do?
Crab battle. So anyway, obscure Flash videos. So now the pigeon lady, has to be Snow Shovel Man from the last movie.
Yeah.
And she comes over with the save by throwing a bucket of pigeon food on them. And Marv's like, I'll shoot her with my varnished up gun. And he can't actually activate the action
Looks like
on
it's
the
also
hammer.
full of dragon lube.
Yeah, it's also,
Oh yeah, it's
gross.
all kinds of gross. But yeah, it's that thing of like, now that my gun is useless, I finally remember I have a fucking gun.
Because he's
Jesus Christ.
So they get swarmed by pigeons. And you want to talk about selling. Like Daniel Stern sells this like they need to mention that Marv is afraid of pigeons or something because no one reacts to pigeons like this.
Well, again, from what I read, not all of that was acting.
Yeah.
He
Fair enough.
got a pigeon in the mouth.
Yeah. But clearly not in this scene because he's screaming.
Well, I think that's what led to the pigeon in the
This
mouth.
was
but
tape
yeah.
too.
Yeah. So
I should
There-
try that.
Kevin sets off some fireworks and the cops come and arrest him. At this point, Harry's like, I'm just going to, spill the beans on everything. And Marv's spilling the beans on everything. And Harry kicks him so hard a pigeon flies out of him. I'm going to
don't
try
wanna-
that on you later, Brick.
Don't want to know where that pigeon was.
Nope.
We'll take turns.
So the money goes back to the toy store. The guy's like, oh, yeah, leaving it unguarded in a giant glass treasure chest was probably a bad idea. Also, no one fucking counted out the draw at the end of their shift.
No.
Bullshit. You
Merry
count that shit
Christmas.
down to $75 or $100 or whatever, and you drop the rest.
Not when you're giving it air quotes, giving it to charity.
Then dump it in the chest
Put
or
it in
something.
the
You don't
treasure
leave it in the
chest.
the register.
Take it home with you.
You got to make the poor person who has to open that on the day after Christmas count all that shit.
They have to fill the treasure chest, walk it to the bank.
All right,
Get a
so
receipt.
this guy who at this point turns out is not a ghost, the guy who owns this toy store.
I'm not a
I'm
ghost.
still not convinced.
Yeah, he's
I'm
like,
alive.
all right, send an entire truck of presents over to where this kid lives.
Wait, because the cops go like, here's some evidence for you to handle.
Yeah,
Like,
Dear little boy, thank you for saving my store. You did such a good job. I took the money I was going to give the dying children and bought you some presents.
figured, hey, they're not long for this world anyway.
yeah,
They
you'll
won't
get
get-
no more.
Yeah,
You said
yes,
this
I
for
did-
longer.
They won't get to enjoy it.
I was gonna send them all these presents, but
Fuck.
Here's
Well,
a
that's to you.
lifetime supply of dragon lube.
Here's hoping for painted ornaments next year.
That's the only thing I know you like.
maybe we can use it together sometime.
So
You, me,
right.
and Tim Curry.
mom finds Kevin at because the cop basically is like, where would he go? And she's like, well, he'd want to go to a Christmas tree. The biggest one's in Rockefeller Center.
Yeah, hey lady, do you know anything about your kid? Oh, right, he likes Christmas trees.
He's obsessed with Christmas trees for some reason, which didn't really come up last movie, but that's fine.
I went to Rockefeller Center during Christmas once, and that's might be in my top 10 mistakes. Like, it is horrible there. Like, it is just people
Oh yeah.
crammed in there. Like you're not moving. You're lucky if you could breathe. Like, you're a sweaty mess in the middle of winter. It's fucking horrible. It's not just Kevin by himself, you know. And then
Stilts.
Maybe if you're a 10-year-old that doesn't sleep, it's not so bad at like 3 a.m. or something.
Well, I think also you do have a better factor with since this is like Christmas Eve, people are probably fucking home and shit.
Either way, the family's reunited. It's Christmas morning. There's presents. Buzz is all nice, and he's like, "Kevin, you did a good job.
Faux nice.
Here's a present."
Good job sniffing trout.
Yeah, no,
To the
Trout
face.
sniffer.
And then
all of this bugged the crap out of me because they're like, "Oh, it's Christmas. Let's go to the other room." I don't know.
First, the kid is like, morning came.
yeah,
Good
right.
job. You
I forgot about
survived.
that.
morning came, and so did
Jared
I.
Culkin is like, "Morning came."
I thought there was gonna be a joke there about how he didn't piss the bed for
Yeah.
once.
Oh, I missed that entirely.
Now, after everything we've been through, could we have at least gotten a bedwetting joke? Like, I didn't pee my pants. And then he's so excited he pisses.
Well, maybe
the bed.
that's the thing. Maybe he's not pissing
I'm
the
not
bed.
serious, by the way.
He's not pissing the bed because of the Pepsi. Maybe he has like super night terrors, and that's why he was so excited that morning finally come.
Could be.
Maybe like Enderman or the
Coke
Slender Man is like, huh?
Coke paid good money to have that bed littered
With Pepsi.
Well,
with
yeah,
like a Nuki amount, or not Nuki, a
Mac and Me
amount of Coca-Cola.
I think that's what you're also meant. Like that was the joke. Is he's alone in the bed while everyone's sleeping on the floor because. Because apparently we will start fights during the Catholic's Christmas pageant, but we won't toss this little nerd out.
Yeah, he would have been sleeping in the bathtub.
My body,
Absolutely.
No, like the garter
body is-
snake, the
with the
moment you
water
touch
on.
him, he's going to piss.
my body's aching from the dried urine caked on my body.
never did
I'll
that to me.
make Tim Curry do it.
Garter snakes,
No.
when I picked them up, they never peed on me. Turtles did. Frogs did. Never garter snakes.
All right,
Anyway,
doesn't matter.
so but they go running into this other room
Neighbors' kids did.
because Christmas, I guess. They find it is littered with presents.
And lube.
I have to assume none of them labeled for anyone.
It wouldn't be if it was a whole gauntlet of traps.
The only
And they
name
just
he
bubbled
knows
it,
is
too.
Kevin.
Yeah.
So they'd just all be labeled for Kevin.
Yeah, the one kid is the only person he
Well-
knows, so maybe it's all geared towards him.
Well, no, there were two names. There was Kevin, and then there was Kevin the father. So
That's right. Some of them are for Kevin the father.
Oh.
But they
I
are,
understand.
they're all, while there's like 100 presents, it is
Kevin
all
the Holy
exclusively Dragon Lube pocket knives
Yeah.
and maps of New York.
But so yeah, Buzz is like, we want to thank you. So you get the first present.
George Washington.
He doesn't even get to pick it. Buzz just
he
throws
gets it
one at
thrown
him,
at his head.
and then it's like you get to open it first. Except not. Everybody dig in, and they all start opening shit, and none of them even notice that Kevin fucking takes off again.
Immediately, right after they're reunited, he's out.
It's fine. They're all
Old money, I'm
nutcrackers
telling
anyway.
you.
Yeah,
Because they're all self-absorbed assholes.
he runs out and decides it would not be a good idea to give the pigeon lady either a map of New York, a pocket knife, or Dragon Lube.
Yeah,
So-
food, money, new
food,
clothes,
Clothing,
nothing.
yeah.
So he finds her right as she's
or a
about
place
to
to shower.
jump into the frozen pond. End it all. Gives her one of the dove
This
ornaments.
time I'm gonna do it. Oh, but I'm sad. I don't trust this water.
Meanwhile, the room service bill arrives for what Kevin has spent. It's $967.
Oh no.
Which, I mean, I guess in 1992, that's a lot of money, but like,
Yeah.
That's crazy that we can say.
That's basically the cheese pizza.
I
The
think
phone
they.
call to the pizza place.
I think I saw it was like 200,000 or something like that.
For what?
Like it
when you did
converted
this?
to today.
Oh.
No, this was what I read
Maybe
online.
20. I don't know about
Yeah,
No, it'd be
200,000.
like, at most you're adding a 0.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's an impressive amount of inflation.
Yeah, it's pretty awful, but that's a little much.
Either way,
Unless it's like specific to New York. I don't know. Yeah. Or specific to that hotel even.
So Dad's pissed. Kevin's like screams at the camera.
He's so pissed that you can hear him in Central Park.
Yeah. Screaming through the hotel.
Yeah.
And Merry Christmas, Home Alone 2, it's over.
Thank God.
There's some weird ass Christmas song at the end. Yeah. But that's it. Christmas.
Shut up, you trout sniffer.
Wow, what a hole.
I think we skipped over that when we were...
No, we talked... Oh, we skipped over trout sniffer. Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, no.
When Buzz was giving his initial apology for being a dick at the pageant, and then he winks at Kevin and says, "You trout sniffer."
Yeah, top
Beat
that.
that.
Yeah. Tony,
Top
top that, you trout sniffer.
Top that. So currently on RottenTomatoes.com, critics gave this a score of 35%. Audience gave this a score of 62%.
Wow.
Yeah, trouser goblin.
So, Trouser Goblin Rob, you want to tell us your thoughts and opinions on this one?
Yeah, Home Alone, the first movie exists. This movie has no need
Yeah.
to exist. Don't bother with this movie. Watch Home Alone the first. The end.
Joe.
I mean, it is the same exact script as Home Alone, just given a new coat of paint in New York. It's a flagrant cash grab.
New coat of varnish.
I mean, I'm surprised this was not rushed out in 1 year. Either way, there's no, like Rob said, there's no reason to watch this. It got, like, the brick part got a couple laughs out of me. But, like, by the end of the gauntlet of traps, I'm like, this is not fun. This is just brutal.
Yeah.
And,
Like watching Old Boy.
yeah. And, I mean, that's basically all I can say. There's way better movies that like show off Christmas in New York. If that's what you want to do, I'd say like do like a Trading Places or something. That's just a far superior New York movie in general. But what do we call it? Like this is irrelevant, and like this is clearly a franchise that should have stopped at movie number 1, and it sure did not. Do not recommend. Just watch the first one.
All right, John.
I have to say I didn't hate it as much as I thought I was going to. That being said, yeah, don't bother to, watch.
You still hated it.
Unless you're some fucking weirdo who's obsessed with the albino naked chicken Macaulay Culkin and this movie franchise, then there's absolutely... Yeah.
Speaking of which, big ups to Kevin Spacey for getting those charges dropped.
What?
Rick,
Talk.
what do you think about this movie? Recommend it?
So-
recommend it?
I had a lot more fun watching it with you guys than I did watching it myself. So if you're going to watch this movie, don't do it alone.
Home Alone.
Yeah.
My rap name.
But
You're going.
yeah, just don't watch this movie.
First album. Wow,
if-
what a hole.
If I were to recommend something else, just watch like Laurel
that's
and
not
Hardy or like the Three Stooges, some shtick like that. Just do that. Don't watch this.
All right. I'll save us all a lot of time because it's pretty much the same thing. This movie's pretty harmless. If you want to watch it, certainly with friends, it can be fun.
Harmless.
Well, not for the people involved, but yeah, at the end of the day, like Home Alone 1 or 2, like it's fucking toss up. But the first one's better by at least a little bit. Anyway, so I would not recommend it. Yeah. What else we got for the people, Rob?
I think it's time to spin the wheel of dice.
I think it's Tony's turn, right?
Because might be inside Optimus's head.
Oh wait, no. We had one of the newer editions roll this, but I forget which one. This was John, actually. I think that rolled it, right? Or was it
Maybe. Yeah, no, I think it was me. I'm sorry, everyone.
I thought it was Rob, but I don't remember.
No, because we were gonna have Tony roll, and then we were like, no, we should let the new blood roll.
All right. So who?
Well, I think Brick is still entitled to a roll. I shudder in horror to think what will happen if he rolls a 1 or 20, but
No, it'll be good. Don't worry.
You could always pass it to me. I'll do the honor.
nope, that's not a thing.
Okay, so you want to pass it to Brick then?
He does not want to.
No.
Well,
Let's roll the dice to see who gets to roll the dice.
I don't want him to have it. Also, I did not realize this was a full-on sack with 2 balls in it now.
Yeah.
These balls are tied together.
So you know how we do.
The
You know,
D20 of fate was feeling
much like all
lonely,
animals
so
evolve
I had to
into.
make it the D20 of doom to go with it.
All right, which one do you want me to roll? The solid
It's your
or the
choice.
It's you up to you.
Well, there.
Although maybe we should make an entire set, like do one for like
12.
12. Okay.
That thing's got quite a heft to it.
So
You
the
could
dirty-
kill somebody if you threw this
no.
from the roof.
Sorry, Joe.
What is it?
It's bad.
That was a pretty nicely hefted list there too. It's 2009. G.I. Joe: Rise of Cobra.
Oh wow!
Wait, is this the one where they have an office in the middle of a particle accelerator?
Maybe, I don't know.
I think so.
Oh, god damn it.
Why not?
Oh.
Why not? So, join us next time
Going to
for
the office always accelerates my.
something that'll probably make us pine for the days of Home Alone 2: Lost in New York. It's
It's
G.I.
happened
Joe:
before.
Rise of Cobra.
We just go outside and throw a brick off the roof to my head.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll throw a brick off the roof to your head.
I'll kill 2 birds with one stone. 2
Sounds
turtle
like it'll
doves.
solve all my problems right there.
Don't kill birds. I like birds.
We could, yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, okay. That's yeah.
What?
I mean, How to Train Your Dragon was in there, but like so's Encino Man, so's Tremors 2.
So's Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
We might as well get that one out of the way. We've done pretty much all the other Jurassics,
There are still 2 Jurassics we have not done,
but we've done 4.
but we've arguably not done the 2 worst. And I don't mean arguably because it's bullshit. These are the 2 worst. Objectively, the 2 worst.
Are you counting the new ones that have come out in recent?
Those
Yeah.
are the new, yeah
we,
those are
we've
the
seen
new ones.
all 3
Yeah.
of the old ones.
Fallen Kingdom that he mentioned is one of the
We've
newest.
seen the first 4 Jurassic films.
Anyways, let's wrap this up.
I think I listened to 2.
Well, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for listening. Peace out, bean sprouts.
Bye bye.
Adios.
Watch out for that brick.
Good night.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe, and if possible, leave a review. If you have questions, comments, or would like to sponsor an episode, email us at the4ampodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, you can buy a t-shirt, hoodie, and more at Teespring. Or gain access to exclusive content by becoming a patron at patreon.com/4ampodcast. Thanks again for listening. See you next time.